Okay, guys, I have discussion D for you. We're discussing Illinois' right to die bill. Okay, the headline, Illinois' right to die bill awaiting assignment in the Senate, signals a pivotal moment in the state's legislative process concerning end of life autonomy. The bill often titled the End of Life Options Act, similar has already cleared an initial hurdle, such as passage in the House or approval by a Senate subcommittee. Now it sits in a procedural limbo, awaiting formal assignment to a Senate committee or placement on the legislative calendar. This step is crucial. Without assignment, the bill cannot be debated or voted on by the full Senate, effectively stalling its process. The phase reflects the complex choreography of state lawmaking, where timing, political will, and committee dynamics can determine whether a bill lives or dies. Ironically, in this case, one that deals with death itself. What the bill process proposes: medical aid in dying. At its core, the legislation would allow terminally ill, mentally competent adults to request and obtain a prescription for life-ending medication from a physician. The bill includes a series of safeguards designed to prevent misuse and ensure informed consent. Written requests. Patients must submit formal voluntary requests, often within a waiting period. Mental capacity assessments. Physicians must confirm the patient's decision-making capacity. Dual physician review, both an attending and consulting physician. Must agree on the diagnosis and prognosis. Reporting requirements. Prescriptions and outcomes prescriptions and outcomes must be documented and submitted to a state agency. Legal protections. Physicians and family members are granted immunity if they follow the law's procedures. These provisions mirror similar laws in states like Oregon, California, and Colorado, where where aid in dying statutes have been in place for years. Political landscape and public sentiment. The bill's journey through the legislature is shaped by intense advocacy and opposition. Supporters include civil liberties groups, medical associations, and individuals with personal stories of suffering. They argue the bill offers dignity, choice, and relief from unbearable pain. Opponents range from religious organizations to disability rights advocates. They raise concerns about coercion and sanctity of life. And the potential for systematic abuse, especially among marginalized populations. This ideological divide often leads to passionate testimony during hearings, media campaigns, and pressure on lawmakers from constituents and interest groups. The bill's fate may hang on whether Senate leadership views it as politically viable or too controversial for an election cycle. Procedural status and legislative clock. As the article's publication, the bill had not yet been signed to a Senate committee. This means it cannot be scheduled for debate or an amendment. It risks dying in the committee if not acted upon before the legislative session ends. Lawmakers may reintroduce it in the next session or attempt to fast track it if public pressure mounts. The assignment process is not automatic. It often reflects strategic decisions by Senate leadership based on workload, priorities, and political calculations. Broader implications in national contexts. Illinois is part of a growing national conversation about end-of-life rights. 10 states and Washington, D.C. have legalized medical aid in dying. And each new bill adds to the evolving legal and ethical framework. If passed, Illinois would become the first Midwestern state to adopt such a law, potentially influencing neighboring states and reshaping regional norms around death and autonomy. The bill is more than just a policy proposal. It's a reflection of shifting cultural attitudes toward mortality, personal agency, and the role of medicine in the final chapter of life. Okay, guys, so that is D for you. I might jump back on later and do an E, which is setting on the printer. So maybe in a little bit, I'll be back on for E. For now, Gator Wellness, take care, folks.